I'm sitting on the veranda at a house owned by a lovely man called Andre. We'll get back to this. But before we start, I just want to talk about one thing. And I am so thankful. You forget very quickly thankfulness when you live in comfort, when you live your everyday life and you have all the good things around you. Living remote, struggling with challenges, nature's challenges and everything that comes your way, sleeping in a stinky sleeping bag for like 20 days. No, I'm thankful. But what is thankfulness? I define thankfulness as simply valuing that which you appreciate. I really appreciate my family, the children that I have, what they give to me and what I have a chance to give to them, and my two grandchildren. I value those relationships. Thankfulness. In Norwegian, it's å verdisette de tingene som du setter pris på. If you're Norwegian, you're wondering what I was talking right now, that's Norwegian. Day 44 was slow to start. I had to finish my video, so I was up at 6:30 in the morning, and I had a great breakfast with Andre and Maurice. And you know, when you meet good people, it's always difficult to leave. Like I say, you know, on this trip thus far, the worst and the best is meeting people, and the worst is actually leaving people. But I had to move on. And I started paddling shortly after 12 o'clock, and I was able to get 37 kilometers. My goal was Komoroska, and I didn't make it. I was 6 kilometers short of my destination. But I pulled up into a beach and knocked on a cottage, and no one was home, so I just set up my tent right there on the grass. And the owner there, Stefan, came, and I talked to him. And he said, "Oh, okay, here, you know, here's a fridge. You can drink all you want in the fridge on the veranda." And he showed me where the toilets were, and then he just took off and just, you know, trusted me. And that was really cool. On day 45, I got up bright and early and fit for fight around 5 o'clock in the morning. Silently, I paddled beyond the Komoroska, but I only made it 17 kilometers to a place called Saint Denis. And I pulled up on a beach, and it started to rain, and I ran under the veranda of a cottage and waited till the rain left, and then I went back down to my kayak, and I saw a lady kind of looking at me off from her veranda. So I went and talked to her just to reassure that, you know, I'm not doing a criminal act or anything. And anyways, Monique became my friend for the day, and she's 74 years of age, and she was just on the tail end of COVID. She was still suffering a bit from the sickness, but she allowed me to work on her veranda and you know, make some notes in my diary, and then she brought out something to drink, And then eventually we got in her electric car, and she drove me to a neighboring town, and there I was able to pick up some supplies from a store called Maxi, and also some Advil, which I needed desperately. Later that evening, she made a wonderful dinner of fish and asparagus, and gave me 2 fresh corn on the cob, which was extremely tasty. Why would a 74-year-old lady living alone in her cottage invite a wanderer, an adventurer, into her house? I don't know. But you know, the takeaway on that is that sometimes in life you just have to trust people. She had to trust me, and I had to trust her. And people, this trip, it's all about people. Even though I'm kayaking, I'm so dependent on people. And that fact that this lady opened her home for me, I just really appreciate that. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the tide, and it's flowing my way at a good pace. Day 46 was a great day because I was able to paddle 47 kilometers. I made it all the way to Saint-Jean-Port-Gelée, and this is a harbor. It's just full of mud when the low tide. Anyways, I came into the port, and I got my kayak beside the pier, and I did a crazy stupid thing. All my hatch covers except one are secured with rope, but the middle hatch cover where I have my food, I took the hatch cover off, and I lost it in the water, and it just sank right down to the, right under, and I had to wait 5 hours for the tide to go as low as it could, and then I had to get off the pier and use my feet to try and find this lost hatch cover. And a couple called Michelle and Sonia, they helped me. They had their poles and were digging and looking, and wow, we found it. After 30 minutes we found it, and then Michelle helped me. We drilled a hole in it, and we secured it, so I'm not going to lose it again. But Michelle and Sonia, oh, what a great couple!
Hello.
He's in love with land cruisers. He likes to restore things. He doesn't like to throw away anything. And he said, come to my house. So we hopped in his Land Cruiser, and we drove to his house. And Sonia just made this wonderful meal of smoked salmon and salad, and it was really, really cool to be with these guys. And then later that evening, they let me stay on the boat so I could make a really early start in the morning. 4:30 in the morning, there we were actually on the pier together, and he waved and said goodbye, and I paddled through this mud flat and out and further to get my whole kayak journey in motion again. Day 47 was kind of what I would say like a different day. I managed to get 47 kilometers under my belt, paddling from Saint-Jean-Port-Gelée to a place around 38 kilometers from Lévis called Berthier-sur-Mer. Okay, it's called something like that. And I pulled up on this beach, and I met some people and talked to a really nice guy called Christian, and also an older guy called Marcel, who was a pilot. And I asked him about the St. Lawrence, and he gave me a lot of tips. Marcel, you're a good guy. And anyways, this guy called Andre, who's been following me and reaching out once in a while, he found it in his heart that he's going to find me, locate me. And he came and he found me on the beach, and he said, come, you got to come to my house and stay in Lévis. So I left my kayak on the beach, packed all my, the things that cost a lot of money, like my computer and my drone, and I took everything with me. And now I'm here with him. And then that evening we had his friends invited us over for pizza, and wow, what a cool experience. I mean, I didn't understand much of what they're saying, but just to sit there in this cultural setting was really fun. So Celine, Mona, Dennis, Celine, Andre, wow, thank you for a really fun evening. Day 48 was a bit of a odd day. Celine was good enough to drive us in the morning to my kayak, and she dropped me off first, and then she dropped Andre off at the marina. And it was super windy. I paddled towards the marina where Andre was, and I think I got around 6 kilometers. And then I saw Andre, he had already, put his kayak on land, and we did make it that far. C'est la vie. That's just the way it goes. It is what it is. I spent that evening with Andre and Celine, and we had a really nice dinner, and we talked, and it was just good just to settle down and relax.
Approchera l'homme qui ne dira pas non. Amour déçu, qui sont les vaincus. Je te parle d'un monde qui n'existe plus. Jeunesse perdue et phalange nue. Je te parle d'une vie qui ne se vit plus. D'un balai notoire qui ne tourne plus rond, à peine de nageoire au fil du rasoir. Comment décimer les restes d'été, les charmes d'un baiser pour nos vieux tiroirs qui n'ont pas de fond. Nous n'avons même plus Je te parle d'un monde qui n'existe plus. Jeunesse perdue et phalange nue. Je te parle.
One of the most impressive things in the past 1,800 kilometers, of course, you have the beautiful scenery. It's majestic cliffs of Gaspé, the beautiful dunes of New Brunswick, and the beautiful rocky shorelines of Nova Scotia. But one of the most impressive things is actually people. They say that everyone comes into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. On this tour, I've thought about people, and I've narrowed down 3 reasons why actually people come into our lives. The first reason is just connection. We need to connect with people. Connections lead to conversations, and conversations leads to opportunities and insights. meeting Andre has given me the opportunity to recharge my batteries, to sleep in a nice bed, to experience hospitality. And sometimes I find it difficult to receive. Through connecting with Andre, I've had that fantastic experience of being able to relax, settle down, and I really needed these days, and I'm once again thankful. I value that appreciation of having somebody open their home. I think the second reason why people come into our lives is for our personal growth. But what about that man who sends you information about currents and tides and depths? Frederick. Well, basically, he gave me the opportunity to learn and to understand the risks that are ahead of me. By connecting with him, he's given me tremendous insights into what is ahead of me and helping me to plan my route better. What about that neighbor who asks for just too many favors? What do I learn from that? Well, I learn how to set boundaries. But what about that grumpy barista who served you coffee this morning? What does that teach you? Well, that basically teaches you how to be patient. The third reason why we connect with people is not because just to get connected or my growth, but it's also their growth. It's your growth. Just as many times as I will be a student in life, I'm also going to be a teacher in life. And that means that the people I connect with, I will also be influencing them. Possibly the words or the stories or the wisdom or experiences that I have will lift a person up and bring them out of a rut, or just give them a little push to just move ahead. Connecting with people, it's super fun, it's inspiring, and it's really, really important. So 3 reasons why we connect. We connect because we need to connect. We need to have other people in our life. The second reason is because I need to learn. I need to grow as a person, and I grow through interaction with other people. And thirdly, the reason why we need people is because personally, I also have something to give, and I can influence positively the lives of other people.